Welcome back, everybody, to Rooted Not Buried. I am Janisha, your savvy maven, and in today's video, we're going to bring it home. First off, I'm going to pause for the cause to acknowledge the obvious. So, if you've been rocking with me, you notice that today I look a little bit different, and I'm sitting in a different environment. Spiritually, the Lord has truly been refining me and has required a lot of surrender and a lot of activating of my faith in some ways that it's really pressing me. But it's pressing me in a good way. It's pressing me to draw myself closer to Him and what it is that He has for my life. And so that included me cutting my hair. So I just cut my hair. It's hair, it'll grow back, right? And plus, I really wanted to see what my head looked like. Is it as like peculiar under all the weaves and braids and all of that as I think it is? Or like, what's going on? How does my head shape really look with short hair? And you know what? I have decided to embrace my natural beauty. I got some lashes on, but that's my business. But I decided to cut my hair, and so this is me. There may be a point in time where I want to throw my little wig back on. That's my business too. But right now I am just enjoying being liberated and just free in my own skin and not hiding or not trying to mask something. Like a woman's crown is everything to her. If your hair ain't laid, done right, you feel away. So for me, it was a sacrifice to let it all go, but it was a necessary sacrifice. I feel like a lot of weight has been lifted off of me, in more mental and emotional and spiritual matters than it has been physically. And I'm just in a good spot. I'm in a good spot when it comes to that. I am evolving. There is certainly a process that I'm going through, but I know my Father is with me, and so I don't have any reason to worry or any reason to fear. Although things may rise, I just know that He's with me, and He'll never leave me nor forsake me. He never has, He never will. So this is me. I hope you like it. If you don't, I like it, so that's all that matters. All right, so let's get into today's video. We are on the final episode of the mini series that the Lord put on my heart called Rooted Not Buried. And if you haven't, go back and watch the previous episodes. I pray that those episodes will nourish your spirit and that you get something from that experience. But take it back to the Lord in prayer and see what He has to say pertaining your life and your situation. So ladies, I want you to come in close for this one. So, like I said, if you've been rocking with me, you've seen the previous episodes of Rooted Not Buried, the mini-series, and you may have received some insight, okay? You may have had some confirmations, not that you needed another one, but you might have had some confirmations, or maybe there's conviction in your spirit, those moments of revelation where God has spoken to you clearly about your purpose, your next season. And if you're anything like me, there's always this wondering, this one blaring question that is not answered, and it won't get answered until you activate. And it's the now what? The now what of, I have all of this information, now what am I supposed to do with it? Or maybe you have something that you're still muddy on and you need clarity on, but there's that too, okay? So what do you do with all of this awareness, all of these confirmations, when you're still tired, you are still spiraling out of control, crashing out, as they would say, still overthinking every single step that you have to do? I can attest, it happens to the best of us. And so that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. And it's not more so because it's not just so much about knowing the truth anymore. It's about actually walking in truth. Okay. And so on this conversation, I really want to dive a little bit deeper as to what that could look like, feel like, sound like, how you go from confirmation to action, and hopefully be able to support you on your journey as you navigate. Okay. So can we just get real for a second? Now, I know that many of you have journaled your little hearts out. And don't start journaling. I'm not belittling this at all, but you've journaled about it. You've prayed about it. You've talked about it. You maybe even cried about it. Okay. God's confirmed so much for you that you have clarity about who you are, who you're called to be, and yet something in you just keeps you stuck. Maybe you're like I was, where you were still performing, doing all the right things, but on the inside, you were spiritually exhausted. So you're moving, sure. You're being busy. You think that you're being productive, or maybe you are being productive, but you're not making the moves that actually bring you peace. You're doing everything you can except for the one thing that you really need to do, and that is to reset your rhythm. Okay, you need to reset your rhythm. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that reality. And I'm going to speak specifically from what I like to say is a high functioning or a high achieving woman of faith right now. And so, like I said, you're getting it done at home, at work, and you're encouraging everybody around you. But at the end of the day, you feel empty, you feel drained. And it's like you're functioning, but you are internally depleted. Like you are just tapped out. You don't have it in you. And that exhaustion really isn't about your schedule. Like you need to get up earlier. You need to, have a priority list. Not to say those things aren't important, but it's really about your spirit. And you've gotten stuck between confirmation and application, between, okay, I have some insight, but then there's this actual change piece. And then there's the overthinking and the spiraling thoughts. And there are these symptoms implicating that you really need a rhythm reset. And so, sis, I have lived this. I live this. It's not about being lazy. It's not about being weak. It's not about being undisciplined. It's about recognizing that you are spiritually tired and you're giving yourself permission to really do something about it. So when you reset your rhythm, you are shifting from this awareness that these things need to take place to really finding out what that rhythm is. What is that heartbeat? What is that pulse that keeps me going and helps me actually transform? And so I want to share with you the moment that changed things for me. So I began to realize in life, I really didn't need to do more. I needed to reset my rhythm. I had to move past knowing just what God's truth is about me and what's in his word to actively living in alignment with it. And so that's very challenging to do when you have the perils of the world that push you to this level of excellence or success that's really you are not spiritually, emotionally, mentally prepared for, because you don't know how to utilize the tools that are already within you, or there's maybe some tools that need refining. And so if you haven't decided in your heart for yourself how to move forward while traveling through this world, it's going to be hard. Because any confirmation without action only creates frustration for you. And so I know it did for me. And so that revelation that you have with, okay, this needs to take place, or that is why that happens. It just, if you don't apply that, it keeps you going in circles. And that's where you start overthinking and going to this vortex, and then you get veered, and then you get delayed, and then there's procrastination and all the things. So if you're feeling stuck today, let this be your turning point, that it's time to stop rehearsing the truth, okay? And start walking it out step by imperfect step. And that's what I said, step by imperfect step, okay? Life is about your becoming. We are human beings. We're not human doers or any of this extra. It's human being. Sorry, my phone might be going off. I apologize. But let's have a quick like heart-to-heart talk about this. When I talk about becoming, okay, there's a difference between performing versus becoming. Okay, so you've done enough performing in life. Trust me, you've done enough. Okay, you've done enough trying to prove yourself to people, to yourself, to others. And your purpose is not something that you achieve, it's something that you actually become from the inside out. Okay, so real talk moment here. God is not calling you into hustle mode. He's not calling you to hustle. He's calling you into wholeness, okay? And the wholeness begins the moment that you reset your mind, that you reset your expectations, that finally helps you to reset your rhythm, okay? So here's your invitation. So just stop knowing, just stop confirming, start moving, okay? What I want to challenge you with is that if you are hearing this message and you're thinking, yes, this is exactly where I am. I'm spiritually tired. I've gotten all the confirmations. I've journaled it all out. I even have my vision. I wrote it out. I made it plain. And now I'm ready to do something different. And it seems like common sense will just do the thing that you wrote down. Do the thing that you've been having dreams about. It's time. Okay, that's an invitation to your spirit to say that it's time, but maybe you just need some help with that. And so what I have done with the Lord's help, thank God for Jesus, okay, is created what I've called a rhythm reset. And this is a one-on-one session. It's not just coaching or consulting. It's a space for you to process and unpack what's really holding you back, and to help you to create a clear and tangible path forward. Because if we can't see it as humans, sometimes it's very hard to believe that we're making progress, okay? So this, by any means, my creation of this is not a hard sell. It's not any of that, okay? This is just a gentle invitation to help somebody out there move finally from having all this insight and implementation, or to implementation, and then from from clarity to, or from confirmation to clarity. Let me say that again, and let me drink some water because I think I'm on a roll here. Okay, so like I was saying, this isn't a hard sell. This is an invitation for you to move from, oh, I have this insight, to actually implementing what it is that is inside of you, and then taking that confirmation and bringing clarity to it. We have to be mindful to be really clear about what it is that we want in life and what it is that God has instructed us to do in life. Have we really taken the desires of our heart and surrendered those to the Lord? Okay. And so if you feel that pull in your spirit, I'm going to drop a link in the description where there's just a brief assessment that you complete, and I'll capture your email so you'll be the first in line when the Rhythm Reset coaching program launches. I'm also developing another product too called Rooted Reset, and I'll have more details for that down the line, but this is all about helping you get in alignment. And with the link that I'll put, you can book a session to have a one-on-one. It's just an hour-long call, one-on-one with me. Either via Zoom. You don't have to have your cameras on, none of that. It could be via Zoom, and we'll just talk through some things that you wrote on that assessment, and then I will begin to help coach you through those areas to kind of get some things moving. Okay, we need movement. And so if you're interested, like I said, I'll put that in the description. And so I have, like, God has really been working on me in and through my entire life. And it's like all the things that I thought were meant to bring me harm, meant to set me back, are turning around for my good. And all the things that I thought, like, Lord, why me? Why did I have to go through this? My suffering was for somebody else. It was to deliver and liberate somebody else from the very perils that I have been facing and still, even in my big age, my adult years, face. And I've decided to turn those moments of pain, confusion, manipulation, being shaped and formed in a way that met the needs of those people around me more so than the calling that God had on my life. But all the things that people had done and planted in me, my God, for their own gain, I am like, Lord, this is what I'm supposed to do in my life. I am supposed to, you made me a teacher. You've given me this gift of empathy. You've given me this gift of public speaking. And I couldn't get that out. You've given me this awareness, Lord. And I just thank you for that, because now I can put it to use. There's been this bottled up energy in me, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? You've given me a strategy. You've given me the tools. You've given me just all the things that I need to make room for what it is that you have for me to do next in my life. And so I just thank you for that. And so I just want to share with you, before we close out, I just want you to hear me, okay? You don't have to live between stuck and confirmation and action. Like, you don't have to live in the in-between, okay? You don't have to constantly stay spiritually exhausted. That doesn't mean that exhaustion won't come upon you, but you will have some tools to better navigate when you're out in this world and you just get tired, or the enemy comes knocking at your door. You will know how to navigate that, to really focus on, okay, all this noise is going on around me, but what God is really instructing me to do is this. I have to make sure I refocus, reset my rhythm, remember why I am here and why I'm doing what God has called me to do, or maybe discover what I'm supposed to be doing. And so God doesn't bring you to a situation just to leave you there. He doesn't bring you all this clarity just to leave you spinning in a circle like, okay, now what am I supposed to do with this? He revealed it so you can walk in it. But sometimes fear sets in. Sometimes rejection sets in. Sometimes I don't have enough resources set in. Sometimes maybe now's not the time, or everybody else does it, or I'm really not all that good at that. I'm not the expert. Somebody's better than me. All that stuff starts to settle in, and all that is trickery, it's excuses, and it's only going to keep you stagnant. You won't make progress. Okay, so sis, if this message really resonated with you, I just want to let you know it's your time. It's your turn. And the shift that you've been waiting on in your life is here. And the only question left is, will you take the first step? Will you take the first step? Okay? And I am willing to help you with that. I am more than willing to help you create that framework. I give the work back to you now. I can't change your life for you. That's between you and the Lord. But I am the vessel that helps you be another person of reason, of understanding, just someone that has been blessed and anointed with the tools and abilities to be able to help you get a little bit more clarity and some action behind, and accountability behind what it is that you've been toiling with. Okay, so that was it for this mini series of Rooted But Not Buried. The Lord put that on my heart just to remind you that you're not buried in the things that you're dealing with. You have been planted. There's a lot of tussling that goes on beneath the soil before you see that first flower pop up. Okay, so it just takes time. It takes nurturing. It takes the right environment. It takes the right temperature. It takes watering. It takes talking to it. It takes sunlight. It takes rain. It takes all of these things that make a plant grow. It has to first establish its roots underneath the ground. Okay, because that's what keeps it anchored. That's what keeps it thriving. Okay, so that others can see its beauty when it breaks through the soil. So you haven't been buried, sis. Your dreams aren't lost. You are not forgotten about. It's not too late. Don't think because your age has changed or life has happened that it's too late. No. As long as you have breath in your lungs, God has given you the ability to move about. You have your right mind. It's not too late. Let him continue to use you, okay? All right, so that's all I have. I want to thank you all for walking with me in this brief mini series. I can't wait to connect with you on next week. So I want you to take this moment in time to choose you. And if this message has blessed you, please make sure that you like this video so more sisters can find this video. They can also get free. I appreciate your support by liking the video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for when I tune in with you all here in YouTube. And yeah, so just share this video with a woman or a man who you think that needs to hear this, just to remind them that they're not alone, okay? All right, until the next time, I want you to stay savvy, stay faithful, and keep trusting God. I love y'all deeply and truly, okay? Until the next episode, I'm out.